Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome today to Kunming. So this is an iconic, classic recipe from southern China, specifically Yunnan province. You cannot visit Yunnan and not have a gigantic bowl of Crossbridge noodles. 过桥米线. Mi xian is the type of noodle. 过桥 is the crossing of the bridge. This specific restaurant has the name of a special ingredient that you're going to put in there, chrysanthemum flowers. There's way more than that though. We have the amazing soup broth that focuses on the star anise, the ginger, there's fatty pork in there, there's pickled ingredients. It's just a monstrous dish. It's definitely the largest bowl of noodles that you might ever see. On the street, you can eat noodles in China for 5 RMB. We had a few dishes, we made a few videos, 13, 18, so this is 88. So what makes it deserving of a price tag like that? I mean, that's like 400 baht, that's like $15. So let's check out the atmosphere in the kitchen over here. So in the back, the size of the pots will show you how many dishes they are serving each day. You got rice noodles, that's what mi xian is. It's this specific kind of rice noodle. In the back, they are cooking up some pork. And then here, you can see the selection of all the sides. It's gonna be like a dozen little plates, and you make up this huge dish. It's almost like a one-time cooking hot pot. That's the part that I messed up the first time. 我要状元龟桥米线。谢谢。
好，你们坐着就可以了。什么？
那个状元龟条米线还有更大的话，还是那个是最大的？
比那个大，比那个大。
比那个还要大。Bigger than that.
Whoa, okay. That's already, I think that one is already the biggest noodle dish I've ever seen. The amount of pork fat in that cauldron back there is absurd. The pork belly, can you see that? There's like 20 kilograms of pork belly in one pan, all deep frying. Oh my gosh. Is the first test governor's level bowl of noodles. Okay, so Lee was kind enough to translate the whole menu for me. I just remembered the fun parts.
过桥.
So thanks to Lee, I can tell you exactly how to pronounce it in Chinese. Be sure to go for the Zhuang Yuan Gui Jiao Mi Xian. Zhuang.
过桥.
So when you order this dish in Chinese, be sure to order 状元过桥米线. The person who passed the highest level, 状元过元 is the 状元, 米线 is the noodle, 过桥 is the Crossbridge, that's the name of the noodle, 黄药.
状元.
And then 状元 is the person who passed the test with the highest marks. 状元过桥米线. So they're making up our serving in the kitchen right now. It requires multiple people, which is pretty cool. But when I walked in, the owner was sitting out here. It's kind of winding down, so he's been busy the whole morning. I could tell he was kind of taking it easy out here, and he was kind of like, what is this foreigner doing walking in? And he was cooking this. So now she has swapped turns with him. The owner's back in the kitchen. This is just a very cool welcome as you walk in. The main door is right here to the restaurant. This is just very cool. And it smells so good.
Oh, 蒙自豆腐
So the name of...
Oh, it's a place.
Oh, okay.
蒙自 is a place in Yunnan.
Lee told me the name of the restaurant, but I didn't recognize the first characters. So this type of tofu is the first 2 characters of the name of the restaurant. Oh, and it's the name of a place. Okay.
Yeah, 蒙自.
Let's try this then.
我们要一份。
Yeah. 谢谢. Cool.
然后跟什么？
你们吃辣椒吗？
是。
要不来一份冰的吧，豆腐来一份，洋芋来一份。
有花椒油是吗？有麻椒。
花椒啊。
我喜欢吃，喜欢吃。
吃吗？
我们来云南，因为我喜欢吃辣椒，麻椒。
辣椒在有点。来云南喜欢吃辣椒。
Should I ask if he's the owner, or just assume that my feeling was correct? 你是老板。
是吗？
哦 ，OK。
老板的老板。
哦 ，OK。哎，认识你很高兴。
在这里吃可以吗？坐在这里吃可以吗？
哦，sure，OK。
坐在这里吃，就坐在这里吃。
Again, my legs are too long for the place we are right now, but I don't mind as long as I don't burn my knees. There are coals. This table is amazing, by the way. I mean, there are coals as part of the table. These are also nice chopsticks, big, long. Oh yeah, when you see the size of the noodle bowl though, they are definitely fitting with that. Okay, so straight off the coals. I've talked enough, maybe they'll cool down. The tofu balls are about the same size as the potato balls, and they're just this lovely golden color, just slow cooking over the coals. Yeah. That is, okay, that's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's perfect.
So when your noodle comes, sit right here.
This is cool. And it is really such a nice day. It's gentle sunshine. We are, by the way, we are at 2,000 meters elevation. So in the US, that would be about 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet higher than Denver, Colorado. So the famous Mile High City, we're about 2,000 feet higher than that. So we're pretty high up. A beautiful day to do exactly this. Tofu first. Of course, it's smoky. I wasn't expecting so much like aged flavor. So that dip just looks glorious though. So in it, we've got some fried onions, some pickled chilies, and then some fresh cilantro. Also the oil though, two kinds of oil. Do you think it's sesame oil and huajiao, Sichuan peppercorn oil?
这放了什么油吗？蒜油。
The garlic oil. Oh, okay. Oh, and it smells awesome. So simple, perfect. The chilies are fresh. 辣，喜欢。
辣吗？
辣。
喜欢哟。吃点咬的，咬点个的。好香啊，又辣又香。
又辣又香。
又辣又是的，大棒。
又辣又爽。
That's an amazing dip.
辣吗？还要吗？
我是一款 chili. 够了。I got the hiccups. Yep. Potatoes next. Lee, you will love this. Oh, that is spicy. Oh, yeah, I've got the hiccups. Next, the potatoes. Wow. That is a presentation. 好看 Yeah. Oh, the potato is so good. 土豆好吃。
好吃就多吃点。
That's a beautiful conversation. Wow.
小心这是高汤，赶快饭菜。
Okay. So this is where I messed up the first time. You got to go quick because there's no heating under this. You got to put in the raw meat first. So I remember a few years ago, I just went in order of the things as they came to the table, and I put in all those noodles, and they basically cooled down the soup broth enough that it couldn't properly cook the raw meat. You're cooking it yourself, but you only get one chance because the bowl will cool down. And what a magnificent bowl. That's amazing. Okay, next up, what's in here, Lee?
里面是什么东西啊？
汽锅鸡。
汽锅鸡哦。
Wow, yeah. Okay, so because the noodles are cooked already, you're just gonna warm them up. So look for other things that actually need to cook. So I see some veg here. Yes, I eat fresh salad all the time, but in China, you don't eat raw veg. So all of that, it's covered with pickled veg, but the cabbage is raw. So that's going in. Over here, you got cilantro, bean sprouts, you got green onions, and then there you see some more fresh chrysanthemum. Oh man, this dish is huge. There were already green onions in the broth. Okay, one more. This pork, and then we can taste the pork too. So this chives, those are chives. That's another key part in the original recipe. So if you just order a normal version of this, you will also have the chives. See, the chives have been chopped in there. That's the white part also, the chrysanthemum. And then the pork bone broth is what's at the base of that. I think that's like a gallon of liquid. So dunk that. I want to taste that broth. You can hear it crunch. Can you hear that? That's the pork belly. It's already so crispified in the oil. But when you dunk it in the soup, oh man. Lee, you want a crunch? The broth is awesome. It's gentle, but it's really fatty. It's a clean broth. There's no blood in it, but it is really fatty. Did you see how much, yeah, no surprise, how much pork is cooking? Steaming, deep frying. Oh, okay, the chrysanthemum, and there is the 大葱吗?
炒芽.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
炒芽. Just like different place, they have a different name.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's do some rapid fire pork selection. You've got the shredded pork. You've got some deep fried pork, but it looks cured, like the ham, which Yunnan is famous for. You've got double deep fried pork skin over there. A lot of it, actually. These chopsticks are awesomely long. I just lost some pork skin. I guess hands are okay with this. Pork sausage, looks very fatty. And then you have the less fatty sausage I already put in there. Wow, the pork level of this is just going up and up. Okay, let's go double for both. And then I also did put some of this, the double deep fried pork chop. Okay, some chicken parts now. You've got chicken eggs. I'll slow down so I don't drop that. Hard-boiled egg. I don't know what this was. Some mushrooms, deep fried. Oh, and here are more mushrooms. So you've got this white fungus right here. It's not a jellyfish, that's white fungus. And then you have the mu, or the brown wood ear mushroom or wood ear fungus. And then tofu pi. We are eating a lot of deep fried fuju, and some eggs. Oh, yeah, so we have fried eggs and steamed eggs. I have the feeling there's some pork. Okay, too much work being done here. Gotta eat a bite on the way. That is beautiful. That is unique. An egg dumpling. And then a whole chicken leg right here. Finally, last but not least, some beautiful looking intestines. And these also look cured to me, but I'm still gonna cook them. I am not gonna eat that no matter how bad I want. So, cleared the entire platter. This one, together, 6, 12, 14, 18. I think there were 18 ingredients. I forgot what was there. So 18 things so far have gone in. So again, I messed up the first time. I cooled down the soup broth too much by adding these noodles. Lee, I think that's like a kilogram of noodles. Oh, nice. They're still, okay, they are hot. So mi xian is this type of rice noodle. It's very thick. It's a round noodle, not like the sen yai that I like to eat in Thailand. This is obviously just pure rice. And man, that is an amount of noodles. Okay. The very end of it, just gonna dump it in. Lee, the zhuang hua. Why can't I remember that? That is insane. That would be worthy of an eating contest video. Just the sheer amount of food. I wonder if Lee and I together can even finish. I mean, I'm just saying that. Lee does love noodles, so I'm just saying that. Of course we're gonna finish, but that would be like, yeah, competition worthy bowl size right there. Wow. Wow. 2 deep fried things in a row. Thank you. Thank you very much. The soup broth, it is so good, man. The soup broth, together with those, I don't know, half dozen different deep fried pork ingredients. So that is even still a little too hot for me. So there are chilies in the broth. Also, there's other pieces of pork fat in the broth. You've got those leek is what it's called in English. And then these deep fried wood ear mushrooms. Okay, I think that was the one though that's what it was. I put that in first. Those are all the pickled mushrooms and pickled bamboo. So this is a mountain dish. Yunnan is so mountainous. And let me taste a few more ingredients and then I'll tell you about the legend of this dish. Lee, you want to help me out with this? Okay. I think the noodles are cooled down enough. It's just so unique. As comforting as they look, they're all coated magnificently with the pork fat that is in that broth. I think this one bowl of noodles could power you for a whole day's work. I think so. Another chili. Smoky. I love the Chinese tianxin red chilies like that. They're always so smoky. When I'm too excited, I'm losing track of all the slippery ingredients. Let's try some of the sausage. Whoa, just like fell apart. I thought it would. Oh, wow.
这个是什么茶呀？
这是木瓜凉水。
哦，木瓜凉水，就the one we had.
Yes.
木瓜凉水。
A really
用
unique.
这个喝。
Thank you. 谢谢. A really unique snack. It's not just a drink, it's more like a snack. It's really thick. It's made with papaya, 木瓜. So it's called cool papaya snack in Chinese. So it's not just a drink. 谢谢. Perfect timing too. She saw I was just starting to tear up. Whew. Okay, try some of the 木瓜. Oh man, you're kidding. The refreshment level of a beverage like that. So the papaya has actually been turned into like a jelly. So that's where that is in the recipe. And then wow. It has to be the dragon's eye, similar to a lychee. It's a local fruit from southern China. Longyan, I think in English, Longyan. Maybe even some ginger. It's sweet. It's not overly sweet. And you really, you need that big straw because there is a lot of that papaya jelly in there. Wow, that's good. And man, is that refreshing. Okay, Lee, try that. Look in the bottom too. Yours has more stuff on the bottom. Can you one hand? That is the papaya down in the bottom. Those are not worms. This is a vegetarian snack. Those are all papaya. We are going to be full. Reduce the level of this bowl by like 1 centimeter out of like 18 centimeters. It looks
like food challenge.
It looks like I didn't even eat anything out of it. The egg and the fresh tofu skin. Man. Which animal do you think supplied more ingredients for this dish? Chicken or pig?
Pig.
Is it like 6 and 6? Oh, okay.
Because the soup is cooked by the...
Ah, that's true. That is true. And actually, a bite of egg with a bite of deep fried pork. That's a great bite. That egg dumpling too was great. Let me see if I can find the other one. So I did get the feeling of like a personal hot pot. The size is maybe even bigger than some hot pots we've had. But it's like, because this is a bowl of noodles, it's right up next to you. It's not sitting in the middle of the table, so it's like a personal hot pot. I do know one person who eats amounts of noodles similar to this. You.
Yes.
Maybe like one step down from this.
But I cannot drink all the soup.
There are really a lot of onions in there, enough that it's crunchy inside. Bites like that are so unique because you know what an egg is going to be like texture-wise. But then inside it's stuffed with pork. But then the pork also has so much garlic and onion. So it's like actually crunchy is the main texture of that because there's so much onion in the middle. And an egg, you would think it'd be soft, right? Another thing I didn't find yet, the ham. Yunnan is actually famous all over China for their ham, the cured ham called la. So la is the Chinese word for spicy, but la also, a different character, refers to the making of this type of ham, which can be years.
我就是敲了不能，我一是在家。
Just like in dryness, just like one step down from jerky. You have to really chew a few times before the flavor starts to be released. But wow. That's great, the ham. Yunnanese ham. Okay, and then I don't usually eat bites like this, but we're just gonna do one. Instead of just a little bit of fat on the end, this one is mostly fat.
Don't worry, your coach won't see that. Your coach won't see you eat fat.
Make it worth it. But really, soup broths, they benefit so much from the inclusion of just like ultra fatty pieces just like that. The broth is really good, man. Oh, it's also been deep fried. It's a small enough piece though that it's not too rich, just having one bite of it. It's not too rich. Really delicious. Wow. How many different deep fried pieces? Here's the next one. I think it was a very thin cut and then also deep fried. Now it's soft. There are some green options in there though. Chinese kale, baby kale. Oh, the bean sprout. Okay, bean sprout greens or bean greens. Very nice and clean. A nice, almost cleaning my mouth. Almost. No, there's so much fat in that broth. Okay, and then the shredded pork. I think that's the final pork ingredient, the shredded pork. And between every bite, a slurp of broth is necessary. The broth really is the highlight of the dish. Back in the kitchen, there was one chef who was just working on the broth. Remember, there were like 3 or 4 chefs. Just one was taking care of the broth, so respect. Yeah, I can taste the hard work that went into this. Oh man. Of all the pork, that's the best bite. The ham is delicious, but the shredded pork is incredibly soft. They've cooked it first, and then you're cooking it maybe just a little bit more with this. Oh, wow.
不够的话就可以加。
真的吗？
是的。
谢谢。
不够吃的话可以加。
She said, if the noodles are not enough, you can freely add more. It's up to you, she said. Well, I guess, yeah, if two people are sharing this and you eat a bunch of the sides, yeah, for sure. You could add more noodles, but just when she just said that, my initial response was like, are you joking? It's so beautiful with those yellow chrysanthemum petals all floating on the top like that. It just so gently hides the gigantic amount of pork fat living underneath. So you know what? This other thing in that bowl, this other thing in the little clay pot is actually a dish all on its own. And that is a pretty good thing to use for scale. 气 or 果鸡.
锅 is pot, 气 is like the you remember in Guilin how they made that snack?
Oh, whenever there's a break, I can't help but taste more of that soup broth. It is amazing. But you know what? As far as like per mouthful, per slurp of soup, this thing is going to be incredible. Look at the unique way the shape also is because of how it's cooked. So steam will come up through that, but then remember it's closed, so it's kind of like steamed within the pot. Take many of the pots on and off of that steam source, so it'll be almost like gently pressure cooking inside the pot. They don't put weights on top of this, but it's also not open, so it's like gentle pressure cooked chicken, pork, and then on top you see goatee, and then there are more of the leek. So this thing is huge, and I do love the broth, but talking about like a per spoonful basis, this is really rich. And also in terms of Chinese medicine, this is very important. Type of food like this is very important for Chinese food. This spoon is actually way too big. This is a, yes, it's great. I'm happy that they gave me this table right next to their hangout space too. So she was cooking all of that for them. That's so cool. Ah, hey. The owner, he's really friendly, really smiley. I like it. So we've got pork, more pork, ham. Is there any chicken in there? So there's not just pig, and there's not just chicken. There's also lamb. There's so many different fatty cuts, but the leek is really interesting how they put that. Oh, I see chicken skin too. Everything is just so soft. Wait. Oh man. It's like the best parts of each cut just shine. You have the fattiness of the chicken skin. You have the awesome oiliness of the pork fat. You have the nice chewy ham in there. Just a hint of sweetness from the goatee. And then the soup broth, getting all the different cuts of meat together though. It's like more than my brain can handle describing. So many different textures, so many rich ingredients in a single bite. The one drip, of course, landed right on your arm. How good is that? This could easily be a whole dish on its own. It is an amazing recipe. Some of that white fungus is also in there too. Love goji. Wolf berries in English. Goji actually come from China. Goji berries originate in China. Back to the super size. Look at that. There's enough meat in there to like fill you up. And then when you look at this thing, you think, how could you ever finish? Yeah, how am I ever going to finish this? I want to ask them if anyone ever finishes, like actually finishes to the last drop, the super size. That's the only thing that has any bitter flavor to it in the whole bowl. It's all like nicely fatty and rich. Even though there are some chilies, compared to the size of the bowl of noodles, it's not spicy at all. I was spiced out from that dip over there. Lee, this, you can really taste the inside of the intestines too. It's like bitter. There's a little bit of bitterness inside there. Oh, what am I talking about? There are tons more ingredients that we haven't seen yet. This is more. This is. Lee, I finally realized a good description. You know the big glass bowl that fish live in that you take care of at home? That's called an aquarium. So this is less like a bowl of noodles. It's more like a pork aquarium. In terms of size. You just go fishing around in there. It's so big. They both have so much umami. The white and brown fungus, though, they have such different texture. The white one you can feel it on your teeth so much. This one is more like meat, the brown one. Even though I love the thin tofu, it's just so overshadowed by the other amazing ingredients in this dish. But yeah, that's one of my favorite noodle ingredients as well. There is one huge ingredient that we're missing, just like Hainan chicken. The secret of that recipe is the simplicity and treating the skin of the chicken well. It takes so long to make chicken like that, even though the recipe is so simple. I always love the skin. Dark meat is delicious too. Man. I don't know what else to say. I'm just in a noodle haze here. Noodle and pork bone broth haze. Very fun day. Count this day as a success, even though it's not even noon yet, when you've had a monstrous bowl of Crossbridge noodles. Ah, okay. So, the legend. One bite of vegetables. Then let me try to remember why the name is Crossbridge noodles. I rode extra kilometers this morning knowing that this was in our near future, so I'm ready, but I just want to try to remember before I'm completely without use of my brain. So from the research that I did of this dish, the home is right here in Yunnan, and these noodles too, these are the noodles that people from this part of the world eat every day. This is the staple. But why is the dish so huge? And also, why is it called Crossbridge noodles? A lot of Chinese foods have unique names. This one is definitely worth knowing. Crossbridge noodles. So, the legend is, there was a man and wife. The man was studying hard for an exam, studying so hard that he wanted to be living in isolation. So he went off and lived on an island, and his wife would still take care of him, bringing him food, but to get from the land to the island, all the food would be cold. So she came up with a way, because remember, the noodles are the staple. So the noodles, they can be steamed and then they can just sit, they won't go bad. But it was the soup broth that was getting cold. So she made a clay pot, she put the broth in it, and she could close the pot and it would stay warm while she went on her way out to the island to bring the food to her husband. And then the husband could then pour the broth over the noodles and have a warm bowl of noodles. And also, because he was off on the island, he needed a size of dish that would sustain him for the whole day. So, Crossbridge noodles. Also, that is a kind of a fable or a cool story to tell, but in the modern day, people say, well, it's just called Crossbridge noodles because you hold a bowl of noodles over this like miniature pot of broth, and then you kind of scoop the noodles across the bridge. So it's like bridging between two bowls. So that serving container, they made it really easy on me. They gave me one with a handle. The smaller version, I guess it's just, oh, you saw in the front. Yeah, it's like a small bowl of noodles, and then you still have your larger bowl of noodles, and you cross the bridge yourself. Yeah. It's really cool when there's a story to go with the dish. And I also love having my wife who can translate such things for me. So I realized something I appreciate. First, I appreciated it so much about India, and now in China, I appreciate so much. These two countries, like nowhere else, they can come up with foods and food transformations like you just can't imagine. This is a perfect example. If I just served you this, what would you think it was? Like cool tea or sweet tea? Sure. Maybe even fruit. But to know that it's papaya jelly, and then we can also eat fresh papaya or green papaya. Chinese also love things like that, but I just love stuff like that. And China is full of recipes, just ingenious stuff like that you don't see coming. I love it, especially when it's fruit. Okay, and with that, I'm ready to get back to work. It is delicious work. And again, okay, now I feel like I have eaten a lot. I'm still only about 1 inch down from the top of the dish. That's ridiculous, man. It is a gigantic bowl of noodles. Oh, wow. Hey, I just found even one more ingredient. Right off the bat, you remember? She put in those raw, I don't think they're even chicken eggs. They're like,
Yes.
oh, they are chicken. They're so small.
The yolk.
Just the yolk. A little bit of white coming with it. Yeah, that's right. She quickly poured those in just when the liquid was the most hot.
They have to, or else they cannot cook.
So that's been in there the longest. It's still even this amazing broth is not enough to take away from the richness of an egg yolk. It still just tastes like you would expect, which is delicious. So most people have this for breakfast. We're having it for a very late breakfast. Does anyone have this for dinner?
Whenever you want.
Oh, okay. It is the most famous noodle dish of Yunnan, right? Everyone knows. 过桥米线. You know, riding here, I did see a lot of fields of chrysanthemum flowers. They're just putting the local stuff that grows here to good use. That's right. Even though it was a tourist advertisement for Yunnan, when we were coming into the train station, there was that huge billboard for flour cake. It looked really good. You caught me. This dip is also amazing. So a flavor that I know so well from Yunnan, the Sichuan peppercorns, actually are not in this dish. Maybe they have another version, but no, this one doesn't feature. But every dip, every sauce, every dip does have the huajiao, the peppercorns, and the oil, and it's in this one. Lee just realized this is the first time that a bowl of noodles has ever been the same size as our tripod. So you can get this shot right here. Okay, in terms of food containers, sure, this is not that big. But to imagine that it's the serving container for just one person is totally crazy. So they were serious about adding noodles. They said, no, you really look like you could eat more. Go add some more noodles. Lee said, enough, enough.
This is the size.
Yeah.
This is the size of the noodle.
Mid wrist to fingertip. Yeah, those chopsticks are big too, right?
This is the size.
It's so cool that they're hanging out. And the ladies next to you also. They're preparing for the next round.
Coming to the soup before I see them. So they're here.
You really do need that soup broth, right? It's so important to that dish. Yeah.
One of the highlights. Oh my god. That comes pig pot. So good. I knew one of the bird bring home.
Leah's the only one who would actually be
Oh my
curious to buy it for herself.
I'm shaking to hold it up.
To then use that at home for her own bowl of noodles.
I'm shaking to hold it up. Is this too heavy or I'm not
And I
strong?
feel like I ate about 1 kilogram already.
Wow.
I'm sure that might be like not even 2, it might even be 3 kilograms, including the broth.
Those noodles are large.
Yeah, the noodles were 1 kg for sure. You did a great job finding this restaurant. So I'm the one who finds most of the restaurants, by the way, but this one is totally thanks to Lee. So when we visited Kunming 4 years ago, we did have this dish, but I messed it up and it was also raining on that day. Lee and I rode our rented bicycles downtown. It was a beautiful day, very fun between the two of us, but so difficult to make a video. And I messed it up with the dish, so we were like worried that we were eating raw pork, and it just wasn't that fun. So, but the dish, the presentation, I never forgot. And those chrysanthemum flowers, they stuck in my memory. It's just such a beautiful, fascinating dish. I love the legend that goes with it.
We always learn from the mistake.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. One by one to finish all the goji berries. So you don't call goji guo, just goji. Goji.
As you know.
Through the hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I wonder if I filled my cycling water bottle with something that was that rich. Would it be delicious, or would it end my ride? Is it going to take round 3 or attempt 3 to finish this? I still can't believe that she said noodles are free refill. How could someone ever finish that much noodles? If I eat much more, today is just going to be a 1 video day. I'm not going to be able to help. This is so good. 喜欢喝啊。
We also come on the pizza time. Usually this recipe.
You see this face? I'm so full. They are really taking care of us. He said, "Are you sure you don't want more noodles? Here, this cup, this drink. You don't want more of the papaya jelly?" He said, "Be sure to come back tomorrow. We'll give you extra just because." Oh man, I really respect how they are trying to hold down this recipe and like keep their restaurant, which has been open for 20 years, by the way. This is the 20th year. They're really trying to keep this recipe original. They do add their own touches. I'm sure the original recipe didn't include 6 different types of deep fried pork. Okay, so they have the jumbo version, and that would be the draw to come to this place, to have not just the classic, which you can have many places, I'm sure, in all of Kunming. It's a huge city. I'm sure there are tons of restaurants serving this, but if you are right downtown in Kunming, I would say this is well worth the trip. So I will do my best again to give directions. I can't use Google Maps, and this is worth the trip. Be sure to come in the morning for the full energy. The atmosphere in the morning for sure is going to be the best, but I've just realized that either coming early or coming late to the restaurant outside of rush hour, it makes for a much more easy video. The sound environment is much easier to work with, and we can go into the kitchen, get easier shots. The staff is a little more relaxed if it's less busy. So, but I will tell you, come here in the middle of the morning. That's when it's the best. Just as the owner was trying to tell me just now, you got to come back tomorrow 8, 9, 10 a.m. Don't come late at 11 like you did today. The energy is starting to calm down. Okay, speaking of energy calming down, see you next time. Lee and I will make one more video tonight, so I think I need a nap in between. Man, that was a delicious bowl of noodles. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Lee. Hope you're doing well. Much love, much love. I'm loving the time in China. I hope you can feel our excitement through every video. See you soon. Later.